is Marc, Elia, a lifetime butcher, and today, in conjunction with the New York Beef Council, I am here to teach you how to get a maximum profitability out of this boneless ribeye. This piece right here in front of us is approximately 16 pounds, and the cost is about $235 for this piece of meat. $235. If that doesn't set off a red flag with you, you might be in the wrong industry, because you got to make sure that you get your money out of this. Now, if I were to take this cut and just cut steaks from one end to the other, just one steak, 16-ounce steaks from one end to the other, and you put them on the plate at $25 a shot, you're looking at about $470 roughly, with the amount of steaks we can get out of here. With what we are going to show you today, I can take this same cut and bring your value, your return on investment, up to over $700. But it doesn't come without learning. It doesn't come without effort and labor. Okay? So first thing we'll do is we will turn it up on the bottom, side up, and we're going to remove this meat here. The technical term of this meat is intercostal meat. Just be called rib meat. And this is a nice cut. These can be sold as riblets, boneless obviously. This is one of those things that a lot of chefs will just end up throwing them into trim. That's not good. Trim is okay, but that should be your last resort for making money, is trim. That should be your last resort. You got to think of all the separate dishes that you can make, all the different little appetizers, special catering jobs where you can offer little specialty items. In addition to these being used as riblets, they can also be used as a satay. Very tender, very delicious, fantastic marbling score. It's just an all-around good piece of meat that's just waiting to be utilized. And again, always feel with your hands the bottom of the piece of meat. Here's a bone fragment that just looked like connective tissue by looking at it. When I run my fingers over it, I feel it's a piece of bone. You got to be really careful with this. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen right here. Get rid of that. Okay. So we're just going to trim down a little bit more on the back side here. Again, these can all be used. They do not have to go into the trim. Now, I could have probably taken them off with the piece. That's no problem. But I'm sure if you're creative enough, you'll find something to do with all these things. Okay. We're going to trim up a little bit. I got some connective tissue here, a little bit of bone fragment here. Take that down. Now, when we talk about your return on investment, we kind of came up with a general rule of thumb, but your location has a lot to do with how much you're going to actually make. Okay, so, there's things that I can't do here in my little town of Highland, New York, versus where you might be in New York City or New Jersey or Chicago or wherever you may be. Is location, location, location. What sells for me might not sell for you. What sells for you might not sell for me. That's why you need to be creative. You need to be versatile. Okay. Now, to take some steaks off of here, very simple. Okay, you're going to want to square off your edge just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Be very, very conservative when you're squaring off the ends. Don't take off a steak just to make it square. Just take a little bit off. And now we can just make our regular 1-inch, approximately 16-ounce steaks. There's your boneless ribeye steak. Right now, in some markets, they're getting $25 a shot. Some markets are getting $28 a shot. The market is out of control at this point. Okay. So we also have different ways to take this apart. We can make this into a roast. Okay, we could literally take off a chunk of this, tie it nicely, season it, and you have a boneless prime rib roast. Majority of the time they'll be sold with the bone on them, standing rib roast, but it's the same cut of meat, whether the bone is in it or the bone is out of it. A ribeye is a ribeye. So that's a nice piece that it's something you can do nice there. So I'm going to now separate some of these muscles to give you an idea of the different things that we can do with them, and you can just about see where I'm going to go with this, and I'll show you. Okay. Butchers work by natural seams. Everything we do, we're looking for natural seams. We're taking the cap off of this. It could also be referred to as a decal. Another item that could be used for satay. Could also be used for a cap steak. We'll show you that in just a second. Just want to get this cap off here. It's pretty large. It does run down the length of the muscle. Why is it called prime rib? Ribeye. Why is it called prime rib? It doesn't mean it's prime grade. Don't ever get that confused. Prime rib is named by the location of the animal. It's supposed to be the best representation, the best piece of meat on the whole animal, as far as marbling content, flavor. So you can see I'm just peeling this right off. Okay. I'll turn it this way a little bit. This is the cap piece, this is the start of it right here. That just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes towards the back of the animal. So here is your cap. So what do we do with the cap? Well, let's clean it. Do some flat trimming. Okay. It's a little bit labor intense, but you know, anything that's worth it is going to take some time. And once you've done a few of these, they go pretty quick. And most of the time you're not doing just one, you're probably doing a couple, 3 or 4 maybe, depending on the size of your restaurant. If you're in a hotel, maybe you're doing 20 or 30 or 40. I don't know. Okay, so there it's cleaned down. We don't want to take everything off because we do need that flavor. Okay, some connective tissue here. It's a little thick. Get that out of there. Okay, bottom side, we'll shave the balloon a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We could take this right here and we can make, from this thicker end, we could take this and you can make your cap steak, 1.5 inches thick, roughly. Okay. Look at that marbling. I could just taste that, just the way it looks. Okay, so there's your cap steaks. I'll go one more. Okay. Now we can take the rest of this, and I would like to remove some more of this silver skin, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slice it on an angle, across the grain and on a bias. Little tedious work, right? But believe me, it's worth it. It's worth it. This, in a high dry heat, this silver skin does not cook down. And this piece of meat is just not something you're going to put in a braise. This is not a candidate for a wet cook. This is strictly a candidate for dry heat. Okay, all unusable trim. Now we have it cleaned nicely on both sides. I'm just going to shave off the edge a little bit to give me something straight to work with. And then we can work at our beef strips. More satay strips. Okay, look at that. It doesn't get any better than that right there. That is just, you got to be all over this. This cap is number 3 in tenderness. Okay, number 1 being the filet mignon, number 2 being the flat iron, and number 3 the cap of the ribeye. Okay. All right, so there you go. You get the idea. Now we haven't sacrificed anything over here. We still have plenty of steaks to make. We can still make another roast over here. So we'll put that aside. All right, to give you an idea where that goes. We come back over here, we do some more trimming. Get all this loose fat off. I don't like the loose fat. Get that all off of there. Get rid of it. Okay. Petite ribeye roast. Well, we can go ahead and take some more of this muscle off of here. There's another separation right here. Okay. Okay. Mostly fat here, but there is some trimmings all up and through here. Again, some more that you could use for your satay. Okay. Very easily carve that out of there. These might be a little bit shorter than you want them to be, but again, you got to be a little bit more creative. You look at the angle, make your cut. Look at that. Wow. All right. Maybe not as good as this, but still usable. All right. Back over here. All right. We'll clean this up a little bit on the bottom, because we're going to get right down now to this sweetheart of a steak. Now remember, everything I've taken off of here, this is the last resort is grind. Everything, it's all usable stuff. Okay, it's all usable stuff. Hey, this is all good meat. You just got to get creative. Okay, think about all the different things you can do with a dry cook. Okay, we'll clean this up a little bit more. Flat trimming, no gouging. Flat trimming. Okay. What I didn't talk about earlier was the cap. We could take the cap. I have to go back to this because I don't want you to miss this. We go back to the cap, and again, we can make a roulade. I'm just going to take a layer, I'm going to cut it like a book, like a page of a book. Okay, shingle, butterfly it open, come in and take the next piece all the way through. Okay, there's your roulade. Stuff it. Italians would call it a brujol. Germans call it roulade. Either way, I call it delicious. Roll it up. There it is. Where did that come from? Right there. It came from that cap. Came from that cap. And we still got nice steaks. Look at these awesome ribeye roll steaks right here. Look at that. If this doesn't get you excited, you're in the wrong business. Okay? All right. This could be rolled for a roast. We could cut steaks all the way through this. The limitations are only what you put upon yourself. Okay? Taking on off of here. Let's give you an idea for the larger portion. All right? Maybe you could advertise this one as a for the smaller portion. You know, this one here is your larger portion, and then we got this we can roast and slice. Hope you're sitting down when you see me do this, because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to cut right down the middle. Now all you guys just understand that this is okay. I've done this before, maybe once, but I've done it before. Okay, Now we can take this piece, we'll run this into the jet netter, and our end result will be 2 Petite ribeye roasts. That will be our mission. Okay, cut this in half. Look at that. Okay, look at that, just beautiful. So what do we do with the rest of this? We're still not done. We still, look at this, all this stuff, and I still got more to go. Take a little bit more off of this. And now we have some more Petite ribeye steaks. Look at that. That's a great portion. Even as much meat as I eat, that would be enough for me, one of those. Of course, with my vegetables. Look at that. Okay. So just to recap, we've taken a boneless ribeye at a wholesale cost of about $230. We talked about how we could take and make steaks all the way through and give us a return of about 400 and change. Or we could take and make these all separate portions at $25, $26, $28 a portion. You got your satay, you got your cap steaks. These are all big money items. This is very tender, very, very good stuff. This is only 1 roulade out of about, I could probably make 5 out of here altogether. I got my petite tender roasts. Nothing but money here. Nothing but money. The outlay is high, but the return is great as long as you're conservative, as long as you pay attention to what you're doing and understand that this is a dry cook muscle. It's tender as can be. I'm Marc Elia with the New York Beef Council. The Beef Council is your educational arm to the industry. Our mission is to keep all our restaurants prosperous and open. Thank you all for joining me. Here we have the boneless ribeye, and we have shown you many different cuts from the boneless ribeye, starting with your ribeye petite roast, steaks, ribeye petite steaks, center cut ribeye roll steaks, your full cut ribeye steaks, beef satay and riblets, rib cap steaks, roulades. There's a variety of things that you can do with the boneless ribeye. Thank you.